Live with Suzi is proud to have Sophia Kiapos, a filmmaker, with us. She's from an Iranian mother and a Greek father, never been to Iran and has been to Greece, and she's been in Los Angeles, and we have the pleasure of sitting and talking with her. And I'm very proud of what she has accomplished, particularly because of the fact that she cares about other Iranian filmmakers, women filmmakers from different ethnicities. And she's done a lot about that. So first of all, welcome to our show and our interview.
Thank you, Suzi.
And tell us about your background and education, etc., for our viewers, and then we move on to the real reason we have you here next to us today.
Great. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and I grew up always on set. It was a very peculiar upbringing because I was raised on a very large piece of property in Burbank, a ranch, a farm or a ranch. And so I was always outside, playing outside, and our home was notorious for films to come and rent the location.
Oh, cool.
So from the age of like 4 years old, we started having productions coming in, and I grew up on all these different kinds of sets: Disney Channel,
cute.
Hallmark, commercials, big movies, small movies.
Wow.
And
so the
all my
love
life.
and the passion started from a very young age for you to be in this industry.
I was always curious, and I always admired the energy on set, and it felt like a community and a family, and there were all kinds of different people, and
right.
I loved it. And then my background in entertainment started when I went to drama school. So I was originally studying to be an actor, and I went to theatre school in London.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Which one?
LAMDA, the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. And so my background is Shakespeare and Chekhov, Tennessee Williams, lots of...
Very strong, proper background for theater work. Yes.
And I wanted to pursue acting. I loved it so much, and I was an innate performer. I think being Iranian and Greek,
Great combination there.
There was a lot of passion to perform coming from both sides of my family. And upon graduating from drama school, I came back to Los Angeles, moved back home, and had a very real and rude awakening of the number or lack of number of roles there were for women like me, who looked like me. And so...
What year was this?
This was...
Things are constantly changing, so I just want to go back to see when it was.
I graduated in 2011.
Okay.
So this is about 8 years ago.
Right.
And I got an agent, and I started auditioning, and the only things that I was getting cast in were roles as terrorist wife, or Iranian woman, or Arab woman, and I never spoke English in anything that I was cast in.
Wow, sad. Thank you, Hollywood. But it's been changing.
There has been a transformation, and that had...
But very slowly.
Well, going through that had contributed to my reasoning for this awakening that I had in the different telling of stories. You know, that something had to change in the way people told their stories, and to create a market where it was viable for people that look like me to play a lead in a film. I'm not acting anymore, though. I let go of that.
Gave up. Thank you very much.
I let go of that. So it went back to it was Christmas 2013. Shohreh Aghdashloo, spent Christmas with my family. And I sat with her, and I was struggling as an actor, and I just wanted some advice from her, and she was very frank, and she told me, you have to experience life, and with life experience, you begin to write, And when you write, you create roles for yourself. Because that's the
Wow,
only
what
way
great advice.
anyone is ever going to listen to you, is when you create those opportunities for yourself.
True.
So I took that to heart, and that began my quest in writing and then producing and then directing.
And then one thing led to
And
another.
now it's full-time filmmaking.
Good job. And which is probably why, or the reason for you to be such an advocate for other filmmakers, women filmmakers, because you've been through it, you've been there, done that, and now you try to be their voice, right?
I try to be a vessel for their voice. So if I can create a platform that allows for them to have space to feel comfortable, and then that's all I can do to contribute to the telling of their stories.
And how do these women find you, filmmakers?
Female
around the world?
filmmakers online, our secret Facebook group, Instagram. I mean, now the way social media works, you can get in touch with anybody.
Everybody and anybody.
Exactly.
From any parts of the world, right?
Exactly.
Cool, super. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And now that brings us to the latest project of Sophia that she's been working very hard on, and she's getting things ready, which is the real reason that we had asked her to be here today with us. And that's the movie called AREZOU. Now tell us about this project.
Okay.
Very interesting, guys. Just listen.
AREZOU is a film that was many, many years in the making, unbeknownst to me. It was only a few years ago where I was like, wow, this is a story, but the elements and the layers began in my grandmother's generation. And I'm half Iranian, and I had a very traumatic experience that happened to my family about 3 years ago, and it ended up in the loss of two very special people.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay.
My grandparents, and so
Mother's side?
my father's side. So they both passed away, and through their passing, after going through the grieving and the healing processes, I did a lot of digging about my family roots, not only on the Greek side but the Persian side, and I really began this quest of healing, because true healing begins generationally, right? Really coming to peace of what happened, the story, whatever the narrative is.
Right.
Because what I have seen in my mother's side of the family and my father's side of the family, and in so many people that I've had this conversation with, is that when something affects one generation, it is transmitted to the next without them comprehending or being cognizant of it.
Subconsciously, rather.
Subconsciously. And what happens is things like depression and anxiety and cancer and things that have to do with mental illness, physical ailments. And I have found that a lot of these issues are due to unprocessed emotions and wounds that have manifested themselves and have turned into things like depression and anxiety and so on and so forth. So during my healing process after the loss of my grandparents, I had discovered that Iran had a national ballet company.
Oh yes, quite a famous one.
The Iranian National
Revolution.
Ballet Company, which lasted for 21 years and was disbanded in 1979. And I was a dancer for 15 years.
Oh,
I grew up
where you had your heart
as a
close.
ballet dancer. And dance was my life. It was my art form of expression before I went into acting and then later in filmmaking. And so I was in the Nutcracker growing up, and so many of my fondest memories of my family was centered around dance. And so I discovered that Iran had the National Ballet Company. And I found out what happened during the revolution. and that due to the disbandment of the National Ballet, dance was no longer
allowed. Permitted, right.
Ballet has been a closed chapter. And that was really hard for me to digest, because something so beautiful and poetic and pure as dance is now gone. And so I started doing my research, and through that I began writing AREZOU, which is an homage to the Iranian National Ballet Company. And we are holding auditions this week.
That's right. Now, before we go to the audition and the information, which is really the main reason that I asked Sophia to be here and talk to you, because I always in the past get people's interest calling me when I had shows with other people like yourself, directors, movie makers, and we have this, daughter of mine, niece of mine, nephew of mine, Khan Khatami, how do I get them, involved? Where do they do casting? Here we go now. We have the opportunity, so please listen carefully. But before going to that, please tell us who has already been chosen for this movie of yours, AREZOU, as your characters, that I'm sure you'll be delighted to hear. And then we go to the casting for what Sophia is here.
So when I began writing the film, immediately I knew I wanted Shohreh Aghdashloo to be in the film.
Right.
And so I wrote a very beautiful role specifically for her, tailored for her voice. And last week in the Hollywood Reporter, while we were at the Toronto International Film Festival, we announced Shohreh's involvement in the project.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lovely.
And then we have also attached Mr. Maz Jobrani.
Oh, cool. Another great
in the film. Another great talent. And I'm so excited for him, because this is a very different role. I don't think he's ever done a role like this before, so I'm really excited for the Iranian community in the world to see what he's able to do with that kind of character.
So do you do your own casting, or do you have a director working for you under
my
your
producing
supervision?
team and I, we are we're casting this film because we know exactly what we want.
Right. So now we've heard about those two amazing people that I'm sure most of you out there know them, have seen their work in the past, and can't wait for this movie and see what they're doing here. But then Sophia needs more people that she's after. So tell us about that now. Exciting.
I am looking for AREZOU.
Oh, okay.
And she is the 12-year-old lead in the film.
Okay.
And she will be opposite Shohreh and Maz and other actors to be announced. And we are looking for a girl between the ages of 10 to max, I'd say about 13, but really between 10 and 12 is what I'm putting out there, who speaks Farsi fluently.
Okay.
Ideally with a Tehran accent. Okay. And dance ballet background is not mandatory, but if she is a dancer, it's a huge
Definitely
plus.
A great help, right?
Yeah, huge plus.
Right. Okay, should they have experience in acting, or you prefer actually them not? Because I know some directors want a right person and they don't care. I just want
to see the right I just want AREZOU to come. It doesn't matter where she is, I just want to see her.
Okay, so in order for that, Sophia will need to see you on Saturday and Sunday, both days, and you got to be available on 2 days, Saturday and Sunday.
It's actually just on Sunday now.
Oh, is it?
We're just
I thought you said Saturday and Sunday on
yours.
yours.
Just doing Sunday.
Oh, you changed it to just Sunday. Well, I'm glad you corrected that. Okay, so it's just 1 day auditioning, and that still is in Orange County?
This Sunday.
All right, why don't you give the info, because I don't want to...
Yeah, no, it's going to be this Sunday on September 22nd at Southland Ballet School in Fountain Valley.
All right, so it's going to be in Fountain Valley, and we put your website, I think, if the info would be there.
Yeah.
We'll put it out there for you to check it out, and in case you forget or, whatever. So the time is what? What time is it on Sunday?
From 9 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Oh, so it's all day thing.
So it's all day. If we have a website, and I will send to you, where we can have the girls sign up for a slot.
Great.
And the acting bit is going to take no more than 5 to 10 minutes, and then the dance audition is mandatory, and that is from 2 to 5 p.m. and you have to be there the whole time.
Got you. So it's going to be an all-day thing, Sunday, September 22nd. Is it 22nd Sunday? Okay. All day, and to find out more information, to reserve your spot and make sure you get there safe and sound, you go and check out Sophia's website and find all the information you need to have. Again, what you need to be between a girl between age 10 and 12, and you need to speak Tehrani Farsi.
Tehrani Farsi.
So that's an important thing. And of course, if you have a dancing background and you are in a ballet or something, of course, I'm sure it would be a plus, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then how soon would you let them know? On that very day?
As soon as possible.
Oh, really?
It's really...
When is the shooting begin?
We are going to be shooting in February and March in Toronto.
Oh, right.
So as soon as we find our girl, we're going to start rehearsals.
Oh, how exciting is that? How long do you think the whole project is going to take you?
Till our premiere, I would say this time next year.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you decided to do it, the whole thing in Toronto, or
the
part
whole
of
thing
it?
in Toronto.
Okay.
And it's all going to be spoken in Farsi.
Wow, the film will be in Farsi. How very interesting. You're going to have, of course, a subtitle in English. That's what I thought and hoped for. Okay. Wonderful. Anything else you want to add at this point? To our conversation?
It's perfect, yeah.
You're good with that? Okay, well, thank you again for tuning in, and we can be with you with our wonderful Sophia, who's been here with us talking about her project, and we wish her all the very best. And once the movie is ready and more news to tell you, we'll bring her back and we'll talk more about it, and hopefully to the rest of the cast and crew as well.
Yes. Absolutely.
We wish you all the very best. Thank you, Sophia, for your time.
Thank you so much.